Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be finishing our 2024 Winter Village. First things first, set up a temporary table where we've got all our Winter Village parts. White slopes and tiles, plus grill elements, snow detail pieces, odd shaped plate, and a bag full of the small ones which were provided by Stings Bricks. Thank you so much, man. We got some white plate as well, and then these saplings. And I ordered these last year and they didn't arrive in time for our 2023 rendition, so this time we're going to be able to snow cap these saplings. Plus we've got 2 additional trees there, and then some of these hinge pieces for posing the big guy sleigh. There's actually a couple of them, and look at all those reindeer. Plus all of our Winter Village minifigures. We've got so many of them. That's what brings it to life. We're going to place all that stuff while listening to Christmas music. Something else that's pretty important is a nice warm coffee, and you can't forget about the Grinch shirt. Yeah. Let's get started. So of course, we've been working on this Winter Village for quite some time. It used to be up on the raised platform at the back of the city. We decided to move it here, and then it's gone through a few different phases of construction regarding the road, the train track, the buildings, and the skating rink. And the other day when we were working on it, we sort of finished the base construction of it, but the stories, minifigures, and details are what really bring it to life. Every Winter Village has got to have a little tree farm. Here you go. You can come pick up your Christmas tree, and you can see this gentleman right here just finished chopping one down, and he's bringing in some fresh supply. Just outside of the tree farm is the nice pathway that leads toward the skating rink, and on that pathway we have some carolers. That pathway also splits toward the Two Pines Inn, which is a rebrickable model that has a closed back. Around back of the Two Pines Inn, we've got some nice trees in the corner here, and there's a little Easter egg right behind the tree farm. You can see a sign, and that is an advertisement for the future ski slope. That path also leads toward the skating rink, where we have this really nice archway with some beautiful decoration. And this guy right here is freezing cold, and that's why his buddy's bringing him a cup of coffee. Now we're very lucky because we had a head start with our Winter Village. It's not like we needed to build this from scratch because we've been building Lego Winter Villages for years. So we already had all of these buildings ready to go. It's not like we needed to run out and buy these sets other than the new one, which was the Santa's Post Office, which I think is actually a really good one. Comes with like that hot air balloon, which is fantastic. But yeah, we already had all of these buildings and we had the majority of the parts ready to go because we had just deconstructed our Winter Village not too long ago. So all we had to do was sort of reconstruct it. And here we are today finishing it. This is where we have the turnaround, and you can see there's a Christmas tree in the middle of the turnaround, and also one of the elves has got the reindeer making their way around. Just beyond that is Santa's workshop. Of course, we've got Mrs. Claus with the cookies, and Santa is meeting some of the kids as they tell him what they want for Christmas, and they can also grab a photo with a nice Christmas tree background and his awesome looking chair there. The lineup's pretty long though. On the back side of the Alpine Lodge, there's an outhouse, and look who's beside the outhouse. You've got Harry and Marv. Uh-oh, they're eyeing up Santa's workshop. There's also some elves on the platform there, and they're getting ready to board the trolley. Around back of Santa's workshop, we've got some reindeer, of course, and some snowshoers enjoying the outdoors and these gigantic trees. It's always really fun just going through and adding all the stories and the details and the minifigures, and Mrs. Bricksie is really good at that. I'm decent at it too. Like I can sort of visualize, okay, this is where we're gonna put a cross-country ski area, and we're gonna put the Santa Claus with the reindeer at a nice angle flying over top of the buildings, and we should put trails weaving through here to try and, add some different shapes and dimension to the build. And here's a good story. We should add a snow fort and a bonfire and a skating rink and all of these different things. But when we work together and we do these things together, I think we're a really good team. And it's just a pleasure to have her here in the studio. My Lego city is a multiverse, so we've got multiple Santas, and this one here is getting ready to take off for the night. I was able to position the sleigh and reindeer at this awesome angle using some of those hinge plates and the trans-clear 1x2x5 glass panels. Some of the elves are getting ready to make some deliveries as well, as they've got their hot air balloon, which is suspended between the post office and Santa's workshop. And these signs actually line up perfectly right here. You can see one is pointing toward the elf clubhouse, which is just down the street to the right, and the other is pointing toward Santa's workshop. And that, of course, is right out front of the post office, which sits beside the gingerbread house. And you can see Mr. Gingerbread is out there using his snowblower. And then we got Mrs. Gingerbread right there with the carriage. And inside, they've got twins. Working with a winter village of this size is always challenging just because it's so big. So for example, we need so many trees. Like to cover this area and to do it the way that we want it, we need so many trees. I built all those saplings, and I put like the snow coverage on top using the white ones, which I ordered last year, and they took forever to get here because they were shipped from Billund, but at least we have them for this winter village. And then I started placing them. I was like, oh man, I wish I ordered 7 times as many so that we could just have saplings absolutely everywhere. Maybe not in the center where we do all of like the fun storytelling and stuff, but on the exterior around the train track, it would be really cool to have like a ton of those saplings. For sure, got to order more of those, more of the fern elements, more of the white tree limbs, and a lot of the connectors so we can build a bunch of different trees because, of course, we're going to be building a bigger winter scene in the future, and we're going to need that stuff. But Lego is all about taking baby steps and getting there one step at a time because it takes a lot of parts. So it's all about building something, destroying it, and trying to improve it. Build, destroy, repeat. The mailboxes found within the winter village are overflowing, keeping the post office busy and also those elves who are in charge of delivering the mail. Hopping right across the street from the elf clubhouse and the gingerbread house, we've got the massive Christmas tree, which is centered within the skating rink. And the skating rink has all sorts of stories now. Look at that. They're playing some hockey. You got a couple nets there, some hockey sticks. I love this costume minifigure. It is great. And this archway that Jose actually came up with is just brilliant. I think it adds a lot to this scene. We've got bins full of skates beside the benches on either side. And look at that. We've got Grandma there being pushed by her son. And some more skates over here, along with a hot chocolate stand. And you can also get some of the nice warm sweet potatoes as well. And right beside that is the snowman competition. Looks like somebody won and they're getting their picture taken there. And of course, there's a Christmas tree in the background of that. Now, we do have a lot of the Winter Village buildings, but there are so many more that we don't have. And there's actually a lot of them in the collection that we recently sold. We decided not to keep any of those because they weren't really ours to keep. But there was like the winter holiday train, there was the Winter Village cottage, there was the bakery. There were so many incredible ones, and I was so tempted. It was like candy. I was like, oh my gosh, I so want those. The thing is, though, is all of those buildings have an open back. They all look incredible, and I love them, but they all have an open back. So they would all have to be modified and supplemented with our own parts to give them a closed back. Although, with that said, some of the buildings that are present in our Winter Village right now don't have a closed back. It's something that we're working on. After the Elf Clubhouse, we've got 2 custom-built little extensions right here. I call them extensions because they sort of match the theme of the Holiday Main Street. So they're part of the Holiday Main Street, which was a toy shop and also a music store. This one is a little cafe where you can get a nice baked good and a warm beverage. And then this one here is like a custom pottery store. It's selling like goblets, lanterns, cups, bowls, all that different type of stuff. And you might recognize some of the part usage there. It's actually an assembly square. You'll probably recognize these, the Thor hammers, the sand green color, the sand blue, and then there's some other parts that we mixed in as well. But it's a great little extension of the holiday Main Street. And you'll notice that the sidewalks are hustling and bustling. There is all sorts of minifigures walking around now. Got those beautiful street lights as well with the Christmas lights strung above. And of course, the minifigures are walking on either side. The sidewalks are all bricks, so they're the dark red, reddish brown, and dark orange. And then the cobblestone road is the like metallic silver, light gray, and dark gray. There's only a few vehicles in the city. We figured we'd include this wintertime carriage ride. Really matches the theme. And you can see that there's snowbanks on either side of the road. And this gentleman right here, he's playing with fire. Actually, he's playing with snow. He's hopping on that snowbank. It's a risky move. I hope you like this video style. I think it's sort of interesting because we're mixing in the process of us finishing the Winter Village in this time lapse here. And we're also featuring different sections as we go through the process. I think it's sort of interesting and it gives you sort of a good visual of how many stairs we do, going up and down stairs to grab parts and minifigures and stuff like that. No, I'm just kidding. It actually didn't take Mrs. Bricksie and I that long, but you got to think we worked on it for, I think, 5 hours. Like this time lapse is 5 hours and there's 2 of us doing it. So it was 10 labor hours that went into making just the stories and the details. But in my opinion, the stories and the details and the minifigures and stuff is a lot more fun than building 20 of the same tree or 30 of the same part-intensive tree because there's not as much repetition involved. It's more of like having fun with stories and being creative and just having fun with like storytelling, right? That's what LEGO is all about. This is the Hogsmeade set. I love these 2 buildings. They're absolutely fantastic. I used 2 sets to close off the back of mine, and a lot of these buildings, pretty much all of them, have closed backs other than the 2 over there. I just haven't got around to doing those ones yet. And I truly don't know if I want to modify the Santa's workshop, but I'll probably be willing to do that one there. But they all have closed backs, whether I custom built them, used a rebrickable model, or used 2 sets to do it. So custom built it. So we've got Honeydukes and also the 3 broomsticks. Now you'll see that there's Santa Claus, and he's making his way into the 3 broomsticks. There's more on that story on the back side, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And have you seen this wizard? There's a poster for Sirius Black, and that's right beside the Winter Village Fire Station. And once again, Santa Claus is flying above. We got some beautiful trees in behind it as well. Did you guys see who came to work today? It's Tico. He helped us build the Winter Village. Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it, man. He's been such a good co-worker today. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, good boy. Eh? Very good boy. It's fun doing this with somebody else, like Mrs. Bricksie and I were doing this together because we could bounce ideas off each other, not only for the stories that we want to create, but also how to execute those stories and how to execute the mini builds. Like, oh, we want to build the trolley stations. How should we build those trolley stations? What should we do with those? What color should they be? Oh, where should these minifigures go? Hey, Jordan, when you're upstairs, grab me 2 circular 1x1 tiles for hockey pucks. Shouting orders back and forth up and down the stairs we go, grabbing parts for each other and going up there and getting an idea, building a little mini build and bringing it downstairs. You know, it's just like so much fun just doing this type of stuff. More to see on this block, but we're gonna hop across the street here because this area is so much fun. There's so many stories happening. It's incredible. First off, we've got an awesome snow fort right there. Like those kids are master builders with snow. Looks like he's hucking a snowball at the opposition who have an even better snow fort. Oh my gosh, it's an igloo right there. You see that igloo build? That is so cool with the wheel well element. It actually has an entrance, all the curved slopes and odd shaped pieces to create a really neat looking igloo. A beautiful Christmas tree in behind that, along with another snowman. And you can see this kid here is pretty proud of his igloo. Now this pathway here, it also leads to the skating rink, and as you continue down your way there, you can stop by this bonfire that's happening. It's got 4 benches, one on either side of it, or on all 4 sides, and you can roast a mallow there and enjoy some hot coffee. And we got this gentleman right over here who's chopping some wood, and you'll see that there's a wheelbarrow there as well, full of wood. There's more to that story. That wood is located somewhere else or stashed somewhere else, and you can see that there's all sorts of sapling trees which we added today as well, which is a nice addition. The more trees, the better, in my opinion. This is the odd-shaped plate hill that I built. I figured we may as well have a little toboggan hill here, and you can see a lady here is giving her on her saucer like Clark Griswold there. Not quite the same as the little toboggan hill that I had in my previous winter village. Of course, we've had, I think, 3 or 4 different winter village renditions throughout the year, so if you haven't checked out those videos, make sure you do. So this right here, it actually represents the last time that Mrs. Bricksie and I are going to work together for the next 2 weeks. That's just because the kids are out of daycare for 2 weeks as they're having a Christmas or holiday break. So yeah, we wanted to get this done together because it's something that we work on together pretty much every year, and we figured, why not do that? But moving forward, after this video, I'm going to be hopping back onto the Lego City. I'm going to be taking care of things like the deep sea area, going to get the mills work done for that. Then we're going to be hopping on to like the residential area. Got to get all the details added up there. There's a section of downtown right around that Ninjago area that needs a lot of work, and then the countryside, the amusement park, and all that. As I'm sure most of you already know, there's so much stuff to do in the Lego City. And of course, my plan is to focus on the Lego City construction once the Winter Village is done, which of course we're taking care of today. Now I also decided to change up the snow coverage on the railroad crossing here, removed a lot of it because it was like all of the other snow-covered railroad track, and I decided to change it so it's plate and tile, and you can see some of the dark gray because I figured maybe vehicles are driving over that, packing the snow down and removing some of the snow as they drive over it. And this is the slight gradient that I created the other day for the railroad crossing using the ingots, and you can see some nice signs there featuring how far away Brick is, how far away Legoland is, and also the North Pole, or the fact that you're entering the North Pole, heading toward the Santa's workshop. And we've got all sorts of minifigures on the sidewalk here as well, out front of the Winter Village Chalet, that packed mailbox, the start of the Christmas lights, some minifigures over here just outside of their house, and another elf with another reindeer. And it looks like that reindeer is being distracted by all those other elves. So it truly is hard to see all the stories because there's just so many minifigures and so many little Easter eggs found within our Winter Village. It is excellent. I love building stories, and so does Mrs. Bricksie. I think it looks fantastic, but there's more to see. Right back here where we have a lot of trees, get the ones in the corner here, all sorts of different building techniques went into that, and the large one, adding some height and sort of blocking the open back of the Winter Village Chalet. That's another one that I still need to close the back. But you'll notice there is a wood cache right here, and that's where they were loading up that wheelbarrow and bringing it through there toward the other fire pit. And that's why we have another fire pit right over here. And there's another way that you can board or unload the trolley. And then you'll see all sorts of trees. It looks like they're harvesting some more trees for the Christmas tree sale that they're having, getting ready to chop down a couple. I don't know if that's legal, because in this recreational area, there is a really nice cross-country skiing route that you can see goes through here around the base of Santa. And it's sort of like an odd shape. Figured that would be a good use of space over here. We have a bunch of skiers and snowboarders, and we'll reallocate those to the ski hill once we actually get that built. But why not make a cross-country skiing area over here? And we've got some more snow-covered trees right there as well. And the snow-covered track, I think, looks excellent, and we actually have a way that you can board the trolley. We've got 3 different stations. You've saw 2 so far. There is a 3rd right over here by the Christmas tree sale. So here we go, everybody. This wraps up the time-lapse portion of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching us zoom around like crazy. Somebody said we should be wearing flash shirts when we do this. That would actually be hilarious. Every time we're in a time lapse, throw on a flash shirt or a flash costume. That would be incredible. Amazing idea. I need to get myself a flash t-shirt. Same with Jose, maybe Tico too, actually. I mentioned there's more to the story of the Santa Claus going into the 3 broomsticks there. And it's actually a Santa Claus costume party being held within. And you can see a bunch of them socializing out back here with some beverages. And there's a little hidden spot here, and only one person knows about it. It's a good spot for some ice fishing. Didn't know where else to put that, but we had an ice fisher bin, and we figured we may as well put it around back here as a little Easter egg story. And there's more right over here. We've got a bunch of elves out back of the elf clubhouse. They've got their toy sorting machine, also the computer with the naughty list, a bunch of toys that they're currently inspecting, and it looks like they've been socializing on break, directing the hot air balloon, and wrapping some gifts, and just completing the construction of some gifts as well. Here we go, all aboard, hop on the trolley and head to your favorite location in the Winter Village. Whether that be the cross-country skiing area, the Santa Claus Village or Santa's Workshop, or the skating rink. There we go. It feels really good to have a circuit of track for the trolley. It would be nice to have the Winter Village train set, and maybe I'll add that to my collection for the future Winter Village. Just because I like having circuits rather than back and forth trolleys. I do like this trolley though, and that's another thing that came with the Holiday Main Street set. That's these 2 buildings right here. I'm really happy with our 2024 rendition of the Winter Village. I think it looks great. It's sort of like a compact version, but not really. It's quite large, actually. What is it, like 4 base plates by 9.5 base plates? So it's close to 40 base plates large, which is insane. It's supposed to be up there, but why not enjoy it for the holiday season right here on our little diorama table? I think that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, there we go. It's so exciting that Mrs. Bricksie and I were able to get this done today. Absolutely incredible. Wait a second, actually, there's one more thing that I need to do, and that is take off the Grinch shirt. Well, just cover it up with an ugly Christmas sweater. There you go. I don't think this thing is ugly. I think it's beautiful. You know, there's a lot more that we want to do with the Winter Village. You know, a mountain, a ski slope, a backdrop, more trees, more stories. Continuation of this road. There's a lot of things that we can do with the space that we have. Oh my gosh, I said Mrs. Bricksie and I forgot about Tico. I forgot about this guy right down here. He helped too. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. It's cool that we brought him to the studio today, and we're going to start doing that more often. Yeah, we got our little trolley going there. I think there's so much fun here, a lot of color. Really happy that we decided to go with the colorful cobblestone sidewalk and road. So many cool minifigures, a lot of stories, and of course we can tinker with things, try and improve them, add more snow detailing. You can always add more to any Lego build or any Lego diorama, but I think this one here looks good for the time being, and I'm happy with it for, you know, this holiday season. Once the holiday season is over, which I'm going to say is going to go until February, March, whatever it may be, then we'll relocate this back up there and hopefully start working on the mountains in that surrounding area so we can start to develop an actual ski slope. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a fantastic day. I think it's incredible. It reminds me of some of the concepts that we've had in some of our previous winter villages, such as like this circular skating rink, the buildings all in a line with the Christmas lights but it also reminds me of a classic winter village that wouldn't be found in Lego, with like the U of buildings and the scenes all in the center. So it really does remind me of just a classic winter village, which is sort of what we were going for. Yeah, well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Well,